Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. The world needs to hear your message and your story, so don't deny the world of that gift within you that the universe has given you. Someone out there needs to hear your story because it will support them in feeling hope, inspired, and even transformed. Do you want to discover how I help get my clients out of their own way, show up, and confidently share their message? I would love to extend an invitation to you to join me in my free masterclass, Start Your Own Podcast from Idea to Implementation, on Wednesday, April 5th at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can find the registry link in the show notes. Hope to see you there. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Chinara Crumpton. She is a nanny for the rich and famous in the UK, the founder and owner of blueparenting.com, a unique parenting brand, and a best-selling author. Welcome, Chinara. I am so happy to have you here. We've been trying to get this done for a while, so it's lovely to finally connect with you and have you on the podcast to finally share about the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do, and to share a little bit about your story and your journey. So welcome. How are you today?
Hi, Brad. Thank you for having me. I was waiting for this moment for a very long time, since September. I love your shows, and I'm very honored to be here.
Thank you very much. I am very honored to have you here and looking forward to jumping in. So with that being said, I want to jump right in and start discussing your career as a nanny for the rich and famous. How long have you worked as a nanny now?
More than 2 decades.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so what led you to pursue a career as a nanny?
Well, I was an accountant, trainee accountant.
That's quite a different career path.
And so I didn't even know I like caring for children. So because I was a young mom myself, I needed somebody to be with my daughter. I couldn't afford nanny, and I couldn't do it myself because in England, it's really odd, this system. It's not very mom-friendly. So I dropped my daughter at school, and I would be late for work if I did that. Then I have to collect 2:45. There is no job which is, well, I couldn't find a part-time job which would allow me to go home at 1:30 and collect my daughter. So I did get one job, and they used to get touchy because if my daughter got a flu or something and I had a phone call from school, I had to go home, and they didn't like that either. So I've realized the system is not actually parent-friendly. So what I did, I got registered with local government. I phoned up. I said, what do I need to do to actually look after children? And in England, it's called child minding, which is different than nanny. You look after children at your house.
Oh, okay.
So that's how it happened. It's accidentally, and it's because life pushed me towards it. And what I loved, that my daughter used to come out from school grabbing boys and girls, whoever she could just get hold of. She finds out during the day that their mums told them that I'm going to collect. Oh, they used to love it.
Yeah.
So we used to go to a local park and play, come home and have supper together. And one by one, they used to just dissolve because professional parents used to come and collect them. And that's how it started. It's really bizarre, because my friends who studied at college and at university and to be an accountant, it was really odd for them to see this transition, because they said, I never understand how you could do this kind of job. And I said, well, I never understand how could I choose a job which I sit in the office all day.
Yeah.
Because I did work for a while, and what I really found that it's, people think it's glamorous sitting in office and answering phones and doing all that. It's actually stressful. It is stressful and also very unhealthy because you sit at the desk for a very long time, and you only have a little gap of lunch, and then that's it. With nanny job, oh, Brad, you're going to love this. You might change your career now. It's so much fresh air involved, so much exercise involved, and you are basically working and earning money. And with children, I look after at the moment a 5-year-old boy.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Brad, he makes me laugh every day. Can I give you one example?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So he said to me yesterday, Chinara, how old are you? So I'm 53. Brad,
Yeah.
obviously I lied. I said 40. For him, it doesn't mean anything. He said,
No.
he said, it means you will be 41 next year. It means you will be old. Are you still going to have fun with me? Can you imagine questions like, I was laughing. I said, yes. I said, I will always have fun with you.
Yeah.
And they can tell you the truth, Then I said, tomorrow I'm not coming to work. I have to get my hair done. I want to look pretty. He said, why? I said, because he's a man. I said, well, we always have to maintain. Do you know how much it costs? I said, to look younger as well. I want to look younger. And I said, I'm getting old. I need to be younger. And I think he felt sorry. He said, I like your hair.
You don't need to change it.
Yeah.
That's so funny. And they keep you young. You're running after them. You're playing with them. That keeps you young. It keeps you energized.
Yes, they do. Do you know? And naturally, you don't think about your age. I only thought about it because he asked.
He brought up the
otherwise, you don't, because, do you know, it's actually engraves in you. You don't think about old age. You don't think about decline, or it's a second half of your life starting.
Yeah.
You always have some plans. You got used to thinking about future, because you think about future every day, every minute with children. So it's wonderful. And Brad, I love my job.
Yeah, well, that's important. I wish everybody had that passion and that love for their job, because it's such an incredible feeling. I too feel that way about the work that I do. And it's an amazing feeling when you absolutely love your job.
Yes.
Can you take us through your journey of entering into the world of work for high profile individuals? And how did this all start in terms of working for and working with the wealthier people?
So when my daughter became 13, she doesn't really need me to be with her or drive, so we could share. My husband, she was all day at school anyway. So I went on the website, and I always remember this, how I sent a message to someone to babysit. It wasn't even a nanny job, I thought, babysit. So I went there, and it was a estate, a beautiful countryside estate. I never seen gates like that. I never seen a house like that. So I thought, I don't care. I just need a job. So I go there, and a lady introduced me to a little boy. So I babysit for, 2 months, I think. And she said, what else do you do? I said, well, I work as a nanny elsewhere for some doctors, but it's not enough there. So I needed extra money because I travel to Asia a lot. I needed extra money. So anyway, she said, whatever they pay you there, I will pay you. She said, can you come and work for me? So that's how it started. Then I carry on working. And guess what? One day I said, what do you do, guys? And she said, she named the product. Obviously, I can't say it here.
No.
She said, do you know such and such? I said, nah. Oh, my God. Then in the evening, I told my husband, and he said, you what? He said, he opened the cupboard. He said, this is what they do. Is it them? I said, oh my gosh, I think so. He said, how long you been working? Well, 2.5, 3 months. Then I popped into a petrol station, and there was a newspaper, and there was The Guardian or Times, which is a major paper, and there was a family.
On the paper.
He was getting MBE, which is almost like a knighthood.
Knighted.
All that. I didn't know all that. I grabbed the paper. I was like, this is a family I work for. and my family said, how come you're working so long? And I said, well, it doesn't matter. The boy is lovely. The boy, 11 months old little boy. I loved it. That's how it started. Then, because I have a habit of studying, whilst I was looking after, I finished psychology as well. Okay. And every possible qualification regarding children, it's just a habit. I'm from background of learning all the time.
Yeah.
So the luggage was big. And after this family, it just took off. The London agencies, I got registered. And I think because of brilliant reference is one thing. Also, it shows that person actually enriches the knowledge. It's not stuck in the past or own way. Person is always learning something. And Brad, I never went to interviews twice.
Really?
Yeah, it's really bizarre. I think, well, now I can say maybe because of my experience. But then I wasn't that experienced. But I was a mom, and also I think because I'm Asian, and a combination of this, my views to life and childcare, maybe, I don't know, but I never went twice. I used to have an interview, and that's it. That was one.
Right there. Do all nannies have to register?
No, all
Okay.
nannies have to just be police checked. So they're not
Okay.
criminals.
Yeah, understood. Yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense.
And I've
makes
realized
sense.
that it's a little bit different than the American system. I didn't know that. In
Right.
Britain, for example, in London where I work, everyone I worked, so I work in teams of people mostly. So
Okay.
other nannies, maternity nurses, and some of them have PhDs.
Wow.
They're that educated. I got used to working with very educated people. Then I visited my brother in America, and she can work as a nanny and earn the same money. She has no qualifications. Not the same money, but be same level nanny. Level in terms of name. She's a nanny. She's looking after children. I think it depends what people want, really.
True.
There are some specialized nannies. I cannot do their job.
Yeah.
For example, we have governess. So we have different categories. We have for newborns. Then comes me, who is from 3 months old plus. Then governess. They only teach children and only do homeworks. So it's a few different categories. Also, I'm a travel nanny because I specifically can have contract for traveling because they travel, extensively travel.
So they would bring you on their trips with them to look after the children while they're on a business trip or whatever that might be.
Yes.
Okay.
So there is a weekend one, there is a night one. So we have different categories and different functions.
How many families do you work for at any given time? Do you work for more than one at any given time?
Sometimes more than one, but usually I focus on one.
And are they contracts? Like
contracts.
Okay, so when you connect with these families, they say, okay, Chinara, we need you to work for us for 6 months or 3 months or whatever it is. And so you do that and then you move on to the next family, or do they ever come back and say, okay, you know what, let's extend your contract?
They do, yes, because it's so fluid, especially after COVID. After COVID, I never say any contract is permanent.
Okay.
Even when I apply, I don't say permanent because I've realized there is nothing permanent. And especially after COVID, everything could be fluid.
Yeah, for sure.
It can change any time. With my contracts, it depends what contracts I choose. Some people want permanent. I prefer temporary. So temporary, not for a few days or weeks. They can go on for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
For example, the first one, the one I didn't know they were high profile. So I just thought they live in a nice place and that's it. I worked 7 years.
Holy crow.
Yeah. And the boys, they went to boarding school, of course, and there was no requirement for me anymore.
Right. Your contract ended.
Yeah.
Now, have there been times where, because you've been doing this so long, have there been times where you've had a hard time finding work, or has it been pretty steady and fluid for you?
No, I had hard time. And it's really itching to ask if I was ever got fired. Brad, I'm going to be honest, I did. I did get fired twice, do you know?
Wow. What happened?
Yeah. And also I left as well because, for example, I got fired twice because once I didn't sleep for 120 hours.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
The job was just dumped on me. I didn't know if it's day or night.
How is that even possible?
It is
120 hours?
Yes. Do you know why? I never had time to look into it. I just fixed my insomnia after that. Insomnia kicks in and you simply stop sleeping. You don't feel tired anymore. You just stop sleeping. So when it's like that, you make mistakes.
Yeah.
And I remember she had another baby and it was in the same hospital where the Princess Diana has and royalties have. So I'm supposed to bring their other children with me and one particular one. And I've realized that one particular one, very independent little princess, she said, I'm going to do it myself. And she put her shoes on. And guess what? We appeared in hospital and she had 2 different shoes.
Oh, my.
Well, it's funny, you know, it's laughable. And also I've realized, okay, this is it. And she looked at me. She also realized this is the end of a road. They're high profile. You can't have different shoes. And you know what? I was in a car. I didn't know to cry or laugh. Then I called my friend. I was laughing for half an hour hysterically because it was hideous. She looked so cute. And she had these 2 different shoes.
And you lost your job because she had 2 different shoes on.
It's not just that. It was the way I replied to it as well. I was exhausted, so it was 2 reasons there. cannot work like that. And also because of mistakes like that.
Wow.
You would get fired. Because if your wrong shoes, it could be something else. You have to be very careful.
Yes, for sure.
Second time I got fired because I disagreed with another nanny approach to discipline a boy. So my approach is with no punishment. Do this connection with the child. Yep. And you negotiate. You'll be surprised how much you can get from children. And I don't label them, you're naughty, you're bad, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I noticed this nanny was saying, you're the worst boy I've ever seen. I've never seen such thing like this. Then I asked her once and twice. Third time, I took it to my employer. And I said, this is wrong. You cannot program child's mind like this. You have to say you're good. And because you're good, you're going to do certain things which are good. So anyway, she said, I will never get rid of her because she's part of the family.
Wow.
And I said, well, that totally disagrees with my principles. So because I spoke up and conversation wasn't very positive. It should be positive, really. If you think about it, I stick up for her child. But anyway, I had to go. So those are two, yes, but it can happen. So when people say I never got fired, I don't believe because I'm a good nanny. And
people get fired from jobs. It happens.
Yeah, I did get fired. And I hands up. It was me.
What were some of the most surprising or unexpected aspects of working with the rich and famous that you didn't anticipate when you first started?
Well, because I married a working class English guy. We were surrounded by people who were very humble, not humble in respect of humble, but they just lived in very modest places. They were on benefits. In America, you call it food stamps. Okay, lots of them. Okay. So we lived in an area like that. So they had this perception always, rich people, they just sit on the money. They don't do anything. And I'm from Asia. We don't have those things there. We have different perspectives there. We grew up in communist regime. So I haven't seen rich or poor. We just saw one line. That's it. So anyway, when I started working, when I was surprised, Brad, they work. They do work a lot more than poor people. I'm sorry to sound politically incorrect.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
English is my third language, and I can only put clearly like this because I teach children and I speak very clear English. So this is how I saw it. That was the most surprising thing. They work. Really work. They don't watch EastEnders. They don't watch
Corey. They don't watch Corey.
No, they don't watch Corey. Only my relatives watched, my English relatives, my neighbors. So they did not. And they had movie night maybe, very select. But they were always busy and they worked. And for some reason, it seemed like they have more hours in a day. So that was the biggest, for me, revelation, Brad, eye-opener, and it did not change. I'm 53, it did not change. Rich people do work their butts off.
They work hard,
Yeah, very hard, yes.
Trust is a cornerstone, of course, in any professional relationship. How do you go about building and maintaining trust with high-profile clients, and how does it differ from working with other clients in other contexts?
So with high-profile people, it's different. Okay. So, for example, it's built in me. When I walk in, I immediately look for a fire exit. I immediately look for cameras. I immediately look for another gate where, for example, okay, you drive in. Where do you drive out? If there is an incident, if there is kidnapping, it's always on back of my mind, kidnapping. I cannot get rid of it.
Because of the clients.
It's always there. So maybe other nannies don't think about it, but it's always there. The safety comes first. And discretion is, do you know what is depend on? It's not what you sign. It depends if you're a decent person yourself.
Yeah.
So you always have to put yourself in their shoes. And in fact, do you know, my world changed so much. I become so empathetic with them. I feel sorry. I want to help them because they are very vulnerable, very vulnerable. It's us who can just step out and have life. It doesn't matter if you make mistake. It doesn't matter if you did something and it doesn't look good and you have a family issue or something. But these people, slightest something, it can splash out on a newspaper.
Yeah, they're under a microscope.
Yeah. And they also don't necessarily talk the truth. They exaggerate, they hurt. So my main worry always was how to protect children. I was worried just like I am the high-profile person, how I would feel if my child was in that position. Yeah. So I think my empathy grew to them so much. And
Yeah.
about confidentiality, it just comes naturally. It just comes
Okay.
naturally because you just feel their pain. You are not going to do that because it's just too painful. And also it comes from deeper than that, Brad. When you look after a child, I don't know, I think it's very different than accountant.
Yes, very much
Numbers, you
so.
make money for your boss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, you are actually dealing with human being and you have responsibility to that human being.
Yeah.
You actually have to answer to the child, not even about parents anymore. It's about human being and what impact you can do. I think it comes with experience as well, Brad.
Yeah.
And also who you are.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I look after a child and I feel I'm responsible for his well-being, which includes the privacy, protection.
Well, you're with that child a lot.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time with that child.
Yes. And I would never want his parents, somebody, I don't know, splashed out something or sold some pictures and his parents are suffering because that will affect this child. They're all connected. It's a family unit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. And now it's very difficult because it used to be controlled more. For example, we were not allowed to take pictures. Now you can't control it. It's all over. They're themselves in social media and also changed in respect of child privacy because we are obliged to take pictures of what children do and send to parents. They have no control over those pictures.
No, they don't.
So I actually feel sorry for these high-profile people because they have to be really careful who they hire and vetted people. In a lot of cases, they do through connections. Yeah. When I say connections, it's other moms they know. They have friends, they have networks.
Yeah, of course.
And they say, look, do you know anyone? And sometimes they even borrow. By the way, Brad, when you said, can you work for a few families? Yes, we can, because they borrow from each other.
That sounds so funny. They borrow
nannies from each other. Because, for example, one nanny, or one employer, they have 2 or 3 nannies, right?
Right.
And they're not going on holiday. Or they are going on holiday and one is staying behind. Yeah. So there's no need to travel for them. And her friend is saying, look, I need help.
I need a nanny.
Can I borrow yours? And usually we know each other anyway. Because we have play dates, we have dinners together and stuff.
Yeah. So what an interesting world. Oh my God. You must have so many interesting stories.
Oh, yes, Brad, it's a lot. For example, probably it would be interesting for listeners that for one child, it's 2 nannies.
What?
Yeah, and we rotate, so it's around the clock. And we rotate as well. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so, it could be, it could be a third one. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, it could be third one if that person, for example, if child is struggling in mathematics, they can bring in another person who is just going to keep an eye.
Help with math and his education. Yeah. Now, working with these high-profile clients can come with some very demanding expectations, I would imagine. So I'm sure you've encountered and had to deal with many high-maintenance clients throughout your career. How do you navigate and meet those expectations while maintaining, as you said, I mean, you went 120 hours without sleep. So how do you maintain a healthy work-life balance when you've got those high-maintenance clients?
Do you know, Brad, I teach children boundaries, right? And also I teach parents how to teach boundaries. Okay. What I realized, I lacked boundaries myself because I allowed it happened. So I didn't sleep 120 hours. It doesn't happen anymore because I grew as well. So I grew as well. And in advance, prior stepping into the job, very clearly we agree terms.
Yeah.
And I know my strength. I'm 53. I say I can't do nights. Okay. I only do from 7 to 7 or whatever hours we agree. It's about boundaries because these people, when I say these people are very busy, the high profile people, they work, they forget. Sometimes they don't even pay attention to this nitty gritty things. So it's up to us to speak up and say, so my message is usually, do you want normal, healthy nanny who can give so much to your child? Or do you want completely run down, depressed child? And do you know what they say? They say, oh no, I want nice nanny. Okay. And I say, if you want nice nanny, do not exceed these hours. And I openly say, you have money, you can bring people. And it sounds strange, but we nannies can train employers. And I train nannies as well. I say, look, if you want to enjoy your job, if you want to give maximum to a child, you have to educate parents. Yeah. Nannies are not robots. Do you know what is average hours we work a day? 14.
Holy shit.
Yes. And lots of parents, they even want more. Do you know?
Wow.
See? Because it becomes norm, it's cultural. And only when you're confident and when you know what you're talking, you can actually negotiate with parents.
Speak up and, like you said, establish boundaries with them.
Yes. And that's when the parents as well, they will open their eyes and see, because they don't do it. If they miss one night's sleep, they're going to sleep next day. They don't do themselves. Right. Someone else does it. That's why they don't know how hard it is. And your question was, are the clients high maintenance?
Yeah.
Do you want honest answer or do you want me to lie?
No, I want you to be honest, of course.
Okay. The nice, honest answer would be they're all high maintenance.
Can you share one of the most outlandish high maintenance experiences? One of the most outlandish, like craziest high maintenance experience that you've had to deal with?
Yes, I worked for parents who completely dumped children and left for some cruising for 2 days and nights. So it can happen that, and also drugs, of course, and alcohol.
Wow. And
I can't even singularly sort of separate some individuals.
Yeah.
It's just there. It's just like do you know when you go to university in freshers year and just like that. Yeah. The drugs, you can do nothing about it. You send your child to uni and they're drugs. Yeah. This is the same. This is their world.
Yeah.
And it gets too much or whatever, or they want fun, whatever. I have no idea, but it's there. They're amazing people. Some of them, they input into economy so much, into unemployment. They're genius people, but drugs and alcohol.
Well, that's their coping mechanism.
Possibly, yes.
For some.
For some, yes.
Yeah.
So when you say about high maintenance, I can't say, oh, this was good one, this was bad one. No, they're all amazing, but they have highs and lows. And when it comes to drugs and alcohol, that's not my thing. I'm sorry. I'm very open about it. This is one thing I disagree. It would be lovely if God stepped in and just removed it, but he can't. But when drugs and alcohol involved, they can't even recognize themselves for a while. Yeah, that's only downside of it.
I'm sure some of the listeners are very curious about some behind the scenes aspects of working with high profile clients. Can you share any fascinating or unexpected insights in the day-to-day life of those in the public eye?
Yes. So one of very prominent, not one of, actually 80% of them, do you know how humble and vulnerable they're at home?
Really?
You will be surprised. So people think, oh, ruthless businessman or whatever, politician, whatever. But I see such an insight no one sees. Do you know, when they step in and they see their beautiful child, and they go back to themselves, maybe. They go back to meaning of their life. Whatever happens in their emotions and mind is quite incredible, because they walk in and they have different identity. And what is most really staggering for me and interesting for me was they have this different identity and they're very vulnerable. What people don't understand, they are vulnerable. They're just humans just like us. In fact, they're more exhausted. I mean, I complain about 15 hours, but they actually work even more.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And what I was surprised at, how vulnerable at home and soft, and it's not covered up. And they can just sit. And I remember always it was election and Conservative and Labour, big deal. So a person came back and a child was jumping on the person. I say person because I don't want to say
of course,
woman
that's okay.
or man.
Yeah.
And the person says, do you know, I had really difficult day. I need a hug. And I looked and I had tears in my eyes, because I was watching on telly what's happening. It's so much pressure there. And the person just showed vulnerability and asked for help from a child, said, I need a hug.
But on the other side of that, there has to be some horror stories, like horror clients that you've had to deal with that are just unbelievable.
Yes. I had clients where they mistreated people. For example, they wanted to keep me in that instance because I was possibly most experienced. Okay. So I was a head nanny. I would say that. But I really found it painful that they consistently fired people, not for gross negligence, but for other reasons, because person spoke up or because person said, well, how about we're using this product? but research said that is actually not good or something, whatever. And I've realized the actual reason was the person, the employer, had a very deep issues or childhood issues. So mistreatment of people I've encountered a lot, and that was painful for me because I knew they were good nannies. I knew it.
But to see that mistreatment of other nannies.
Yes.
Is there, I guess, a nanny community that you're part of? Like
yes.
That's amazing.
Quite great. For example, we have world famous tennis player. I'm not saying who.
No,
so
that's okay.
The area where they live, we all nannies, we have the same playground, same park. Brad, why are you laughing?
I just think it's amazing that there's a community of nannies. I think that's awesome.
Yes. Community of nannies of high profile people. I'm joking. It's just that area. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's outside of London and it's very convenient because we can message each other and also organize play dates. So this is what happened actually a few years ago. I came back and I said, well, there's a nanny with little girl and little girl wants to play with your child. So they said, yes, okay. So I brought her in. It happened to be that the other nannies, employers, very influential people, and they got together as well. So, and also they found out they were in one industry at some point. So that was interesting. But the question is about Nanny Network. Nanny Network is good because, yes, we can have play dates because parents are too busy. Yeah. So it's up to us, as long as we are safe and we're given green light, where are we going to play today? At your place or at my place? And nannies have also network of recommending each other. So one person, for example, one nanny can say, my contract is expiring soon, guys. Yeah. Do you know? And the others, they say, oh, hold on a moment. I'm going to ask my employer. Okay. We actually need extra person and stuff.
That's amazing. Referrals and everything. But, when you think about the whole nanny thing, isn't it kind of sad when you think about it that the parents are that busy that they have to hire someone to come in, and that's not to take away from anything, but they have to hire someone to come in and look after their children. They don't get to spend the time with them. They don't really get to see them grow up as traditional parents like yourself or me or any other parents like my parents growing up. I mean, I know there's absentee parents even when it's a different level. It's not that high profile. Of course there is. But looking at that situation, the high profile clients, they hire someone to come in and look after and raise their kids, basically. They don't get to spend that much time with them. I think that's kind of sad.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but
oh, okay. No, go ahead.
Do you know why? Because that's what my friends always say. They say, well, you're always, most of the time, like 80% of the time, I'm with the child. But do you know, the more I looked into psychology, the more I came to decision that parent doesn't have to be with the child all the time. It's a quality. That's a quality. Okay. Yeah. So I even spoke from Oxford about bonding. And given 20 minutes. I think I actually said 15. It sounds ridiculous, but I actually ask parents to spend 15, 20 minutes a day because you're right. They're too busy. They're too busy to that extent that I am actually begging them to give 15, 20 minutes, but they're very different 15, 20 minutes. It's not just about being presence. It's about quality. It's about asking how you are. It's about giving hugs. It's about saying what's the issue, what is it? Okay, engaging and connecting, right? So I had few cases when I worked for moms who decided to be very involved in their child rearing. And in my observation, there is no need to be all the time with children. In my observation and these studies, I came to conclusion it has to be balanced. Do you know, it's a good idea to hire someone who knows what they're doing. It's good to have a break for well-being of mothers and fathers as well. Okay. But I know I can understand your question. You're saying, well, they're so busy. They are, right? They are. Yeah. They are so busy, but I think I forgive them because they source. Some parents, they say, hands up. I'm not good at it. I can't do it. But I got you, they say. Right. Okay. So the only thing I ask them to have 20 minutes a day, dedicated time, without iPhones, iPads, telly or anything, 20 minutes. You will be surprised, but This life came to that, this digital life, just one-to-one interaction, like you did, Brad. And I know how much you miss your grandpa as well.
Yeah.
I was following you on Facebook and how fond of your father and all that. It's because it was human-to-human interaction. And nowadays it's such a crisis because parents are absent, or the rest of the time children just with technology. It's really bad. And this is going to be the subject I'm going to take to MIT Boston, Brad, in May. And I'm going to talk about it from the stage about digital world and children, emphasizing that human-to-human interaction is must.
Yeah, it's key.
Yes. Although I'm very protective of parents because I'm very emotionally attached to these parents, and I'm saying no. But Brad, you have a point here. Do you know, people, when I say people, parents need to find a time for children. Just go for a walk, just sitting next to, just to be there, present, so child knows you're there is good. Because sometimes I work in an environment where child asks for parents all day. All day I have to promise that child is going to have 20 minutes with parents. And I know, Brad, I understand your question. That is not very good for children. Child does not have to be begging for 20 minutes.
No, that's not a way for a child to live, for sure.
Luckily, that child has very deep connection with parents. That's why I'm okay about it. But if there is no connection and no parents physically, it's going to be disaster.
Yeah, for sure.
And in environments like that, I usually speak up and get in trouble.
Okay. Well, thank you for clarifying that, Chinara. Reflecting on your career as a nanny, what would you consider to be the most significant highlight or accomplishment in your career?
So, most significant accomplishment in my career is, to raise so many smart children.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. It's so good to see the fruits now, Brad. It's the most fantastic thing. Beginning with my daughter. She's 29, and she's what is called high flyer. So I narrowly missed the disaster there. I sort of managed, but I think it's thanks God I had my husband who helped. But it's this feeling, Brad, feeling of achievement. I know they're not my children, but this is the society we're talking about. It's us, right? And it makes me feel good, Brad. Makes me feel good because every child I looked after, I see now who they are. And this is such a nice feeling. I bet the dog walkers, they feel the same because they love pets. People, vets and whoever works with nature, they probably feel similar. So I can't find expressive words, but Brad, it makes me feel good because it makes me feel, well, it wasn't an accountant doing numbers only.
Yes. Well, you're contributing to society. You're helping to raise these children to turn into productive adults.
Yes, it's creative,
Yeah.
I created something which is going to go growing further.
Yes. Yeah.
I created, so it's like an art and makes me feel good. I don't know if people understand, but maybe I appear way too enthusiastic nanny, but I am.
Well, that's good to have that enthusiasm about your job. Have you ever had a child where you just could not handle the kid? Nothing you could do. Like, he's just completely horrible to deal with.
Yes. I had, Brad, I had a moment when I thought, oh, it's enough with rich and famous. I'm going to do something good for this society. And I went to work on children's home. And Brad, listen to this. You will be probably very surprised. All my life, I thought children's homes are for children who have no parents. Each of them, they had parents. These children were thrown out the system because parents did not want them.
Oh my gosh.
I said it. It sounds terrible.
It does.
Yes, so I saw people basically given up on them. Yeah. And there was a child, they said he was a young offender. Yeah. He was already wearing a tag on his ankle. Apparently he never ever did homework because he's not going to do it. So and it actually answers your previous question as well. This was the first time he did it with me. He did it with me, and I think my eyes getting a bit watered. He was already a teenager and he did it with me.
That's incredibly powerful.
It was some sort of breakthrough, and he never did homework. He was angry all the time. So did other children as well. Yeah. So that was a breakthrough. But from rich and famous world. Oh my God, each of them are like that, Brad. And and that's where the meditation comes. Honestly, and that's where the connection comes. If you find this connection to a child, Brad, do you know the key? It doesn't matter how uncontrollable the child. It doesn't matter if that child has ADHD or cerebral palsy, whatever. You find the key, you are going to get that child do what you want. You are going to do homework and stuff. So I never ever let anyone around me label a child naughty or impossible or bad. Never. Yep. I don't use those languages ever. But your question is, are you joking, dude? You boys, I look after boys. They're all like that. They're super smart. Do you know? They're super smart. But you have to be smarter. And if you don't have your swagger, authoritative, which is very balanced, that is a good method. But best one is blue parenting. That's why I called my brand Blue Parenting, where you don't punish child, you don't use bad language, but you get straight and narrow. You find methods, and that child starts cooperating with you.
Love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
What is one of the most valuable lessons or learning experience that has influenced the Chinara you are today?
Most valuable lesson is that human being is so complex. And it doesn't matter if child has imperfections, that child still can be very successful. It doesn't matter if child has conditions, that child still can be successful. We have to redefine success. We have to redefine the word genius. We have to redefine the word high flyer. A child who is not academically good can be a high flyer. I've proven it. I've seen it. I see it all the time. And we all have to learn to look at child rearing from different angle now. With this digital world, is AI growing as well, and effect of it, negative effect and all that. We have to help children to get their genius genes out of them by looking at them that they can, by not looking at their imperfections and inabilities.
How did your parents react to you working as a nanny? Going from, being from Asia and being raised in an Asian family, I can't imagine what they thought when you told them that you're giving up an accounting career to work as a nanny to look after other people's kids.
I didn't know you were going to ask that question, Brad. I got these goosebumps on my arms because I'm Asian. In Asia, you have very little voice as a child and mostly authoritarian. And thanks God they don't speak English. They're not going to listen to this podcast. I have to be honest with you. I hid that my career for about 15 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they did. They knew I travel. They knew I'm happy. They knew I do something, whatever. And yes, they see pictures as well. They see. And I hid because my mother, she lived till 93. Towards her last, maybe a few years, she knew I'm a nanny. It took many years for me to actually come out of this state of hiding it, because in Asia they have this division of people. So I was from farming background, but my grandparent was a diplomat. Then communists came and took everything away, whatever. But they carry that family name so far, and they say you have to make us proud. You have to do well. So we live with that. We have to do that. Probably nobody even asked me if I want to be an accountant. They just told me. And if I said, guess what I'm doing? I'm a nanny. First reaction of my mother would be, where did I go wrong? What happened? Yeah, what happened? Because in Asia, they think nanny is a second category of people. It's not so highly respectful job like in London, for example. Well, I hope it's highly respectful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because civilized society in the West, they understand to raise children, you need to invest. You need to invest in good nannies.
I think you're making more of an impact and more of a difference in the world doing that work than you would be doing accounting as an accountant. You're impacting another human being's life.
Yes, but for my great Asian grandma and mother, it wouldn't look good because they would think I'm a failure or something happened to me and that I become a nanny, because the status is more important for them, I suppose. So I hid this for a very long time. And because it wasn't, now we're all exposed. It doesn't matter what you do, they're going to know, right?
Yeah.
Then I never went on Facebook before. I never went on social media because it's so far. They didn't actually know what I do. And so I enjoyed for a very long time. Then I had to come clean. And I remember my mother's face, but she could feel I'm very happy, fulfilled. I raised a nice, beautiful child, and I have a healthy family. She feels everything's fine. So what? But yeah, I work as a nanny, and I'm not ashamed of it, because I actually feel sorry for lots of people over there who are politicians. Some of my relatives, they are professors. They have very stressful lives and very little salaries. I have lots of doctors, relatives. They work days and nights and they get paid so little. They're depressed. So comparing with all that, I think my life is so good, Brad.
Quality of life.
As a nanny, yeah.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Sorry to drop that on you. It just came to me and I thought, I'm going to ask. It just came into my head.
I had to quickly think. But then I realized my mom is dead and the rest can't speak English. I was thinking,
so you're okay.
I'm safe.
Let's speak a little bit about, you mentioned very briefly about Blue Parenting. Can you share with us what the brand and the company is all about?
So I found a way how to help wider audience, more parents than I just work for. So I coach a lot of parents through my website. So blue represents intelligence. So it's intelligent parenting without complicating it. I actually put very efficient methods from Asian culture and from Western culture together. And I love coaching parents because lots of parents complicate it. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be complicated. Yeah. So blue parenting, I had to give some name. And I like being British. We love blue and rain. And so it's blue, just like that. Blue parenting is combination of Western and...
So you do online coaching with your clients, with your parents?
I also sell my programs. I have lots of video programs. But I've realized that it needs to be tailored to each family. So when parents call me, I have to find out how old is a child, what they do, then find the methods, the strategically tailored for that specific child. So that's what I do. I love my website. I didn't know I can build a website. Do you know, Brad? Do you know what I did? I phoned up. It's called GoDaddy, yeah?
Yep.
I said, look, give me something. I don't know where. I think it was £12 or whatever, or £100. I don't care. So this is a name. And I started about 9 o'clock in the evening. 2 o'clock it was ready. I'm not techie. Brad, I'm dreaded if volume goes down in this interview and I wouldn't know what to do. I built my website myself. Do you know why? Because I refuse to pay for very fancy one, complicated one. I said parents are busy. They don't care about that. They just need to find me, click on a button, and I'm there. So
keep it easy for them. Absolutely.
Yes, that's always needed. So I don't have fancy designers or whatever. I just build it myself. I love it.
It's awesome. Now, as mentioned as well off the top, you are a best-selling author. Can you speak a little bit about that? Tell us the title of the book that you participated in, what the subject matter was of your story, and what that was like for you writing and sharing your story with the world.
That was a very exciting moment when I had a chance to get together with other people and put my chapter, How to Raise a Genius. And it hit bestseller. It made me very proud. But I grew from that. I grew and I thought, I want my own book and I want to put all the expertise in it. Not just one chapter. It's not good enough for me. So my book is ready, Brad. It's going to go out next month.
Amazing.
Yeah. And it's called Blue Parenting High Flyers and subtitle 10 Secrets of Blue Parenting to Bring Out Genius. So
amazing.
The book is so good. Do you know, somebody said, first book is always going to be about the author. I thought, not me. But he was right, because he constantly goes to my childhood, my examples, my nanny world, because I wanted to make it authentic. I don't want to make it very academic book. I mean, who cares about that? I want world sees from nanny point of view. And some parts, I just bluntly put it. I thought, you're not going to like it, but this one works.
Yeah.
And whoever tells you that does not work, but this is going to work, it's not very, what is it called? When everyone else thinks one way and this is against the current.
Against the grain, yeah.
Yeah, but a few things I bluntly put, I thought, it's my book. I put whatever I want.
I love it. I think that's amazing. Congratulations. That is huge.
Yes, thank you.
We'll put the link in the show notes for your episode when the book is released, and that way people can check it out. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chinara,
Oh, Brad,
yeah.
I forgot. My second book, which is ready and never published, I'm going to publish. Shall I say it?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Diary of a Nanny for Rich and Famous.
Yes. You've written it. It's already written.
It's already written.
You just have to publish it.
Then I've removed half of it. Then I put it back. Then it's just sitting there. So
you have to get that out there.
Yeah, I think I should get it out.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know why I was held that for some time? Because people seem to be more interested in that book than the actual how to raise.
Yeah, because they want all the details.
But I thought that's not fair. That's not my first message. My first message is I want to help parents to raise really happy, successful children, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I put it on the bottom of my shelf. I thought, I'm going to force you to read this one first.
Then we'll put out the second one. I love it. Great thinking. Good strategy. What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
I think mine is empathy. I always have empathy for another human being.
Okay.
And when you have empathy, you actually understand the person. And it doesn't matter what size is that person, if 3 months old or 50 years old. So my strength is my empathy for people. And when you're empathetic, you actually can help. And when you're empathetic, you can actually get the best out of the other person. Even if that person doesn't like you, but if you are empathetic, I think it's possible to come to some agreement.
Now, speaking of success, what does that word mean to you? How do you define success?
Oh, that's a good question. Success is, I think, it's state of mind, Brad. Because if you look at my life, I'm not rich and famous, but I love my life. I love what I did. I love how I led. And I think if you're true to yourself and if you're proud of yourself inside, I think that's a success. Yeah. And at one point I thought, I'm a nanny. I haven't achieved anything in life. And I said, the only thing I've achieved is raising my daughter and parenting. And somebody said, do you realize that's actually a biggest achievement?
That's huge. Raising a child. That's one of the toughest jobs in the world, raising kids.
Yes.
And you raise other people's kids. So on top of your own.
Yes.
So that is a huge achievement. Absolutely. You should be very proud of it.
Thank you. And that's because of that, I feel my life is good.
What would you say is one of the most important lessons you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before you learned it? And what was your life like after you learned it?
But it's again comes to parenting because I wasn't so wise all my life. And I was a mom myself, young, and I did mistakes as well. For example, I've realized that I didn't feed her properly, my daughter. So I don't promote breastfeeding, unfortunately, because my daughter was breastfed and she was calcium deficient, as I found out later when she was 10, 11. So before, growing up in Asian communities, believe in one thing, then move into Western world and sometimes completely being stuck because you believed in one thing, then this is actually quite opposite, you think, what is right? So my biggest takeaway from my life after I moved here is to be open-minded. Open-mindedness is the way out of poverty, not just monetary, but also from knowledge-wise.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
What does the word empowerment mean to you, Chinara?
Empowerment. I think it's something big. It has a value in it. It has a force in it. Beliefs. I think it's driving force with some sort of aim. Purpose. I would say purpose.
Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions just be 2, 3, 4-word answer, okay? How would you describe yourself in one word?
Outgoing.
If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Kindness.
If you could be remembered for one thing, what would that be?
Fun.
What is one thing you love about yourself that is not related to your physical appearance?
My empathetic nature.
What's one thing you want but cannot buy with money?
Bond.
If you were stranded on a deserted island and could only have one item, what would it be?
Bottle of water.
That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I've got a little bonus question I threw in here. I didn't send this to you. I'm just going to ask. If you could take one feeling or one belief and bottle it and give it to people, what would it be?
That would be kindness. If there is a kindness, everything is doable.
What challenge in your life would you say has shaped you the most, Chinara?
Raising my family was the toughest one.
Who in your life has had the biggest impact on you and why?
My daughter. She changed me. She changed me as a person, as an individual, as a professional.
How did your daughter view you? Obviously, she grew up with you working as a nanny. How did she view you raising other people's children? Like, how has that affected your relationship with her?
Because she was so outgoing and she always craved for having sister or brother.
Yeah.
She didn't care if it was Jack or Charlie or Jessica. She just wanted to keep them. So she loved it. It was, for her social life, interesting. She wanted to share me with the whole world as long as she has playmate or someone.
Yeah.
So it was good. She loved it. But as a profession, she would not do that.
Did it strengthen your bond with her in your relationship?
Yes.
At all? Yeah.
Yes. Because by looking after children, I think I understood more. And also I had to adjust myself because I'm an Asian mom from authoritarian background. And we impose that in our children if we are not careful. Mm-hmm. So by looking after other children, I learned how to parent.
Wow, that's powerful. What is one lesson that your career has taught you that you think everyone should learn at some point in their life?
One lesson is it's never too late. Don't look at the child and give up, especially if it's a teenager. It's never too late to connect and reverse things and start building a future.
Those teenage years are tough, tough years of parenting. I think they're probably the toughest years, the teenage years.
Oh, yes. Yes. I struggled myself as a teenager, and that's probably my why. Because I carried that pain all my life, hold a grudge against my mother. We're talking about 3 years of my teenagehood, from 15 till 18, until I gone to university, and I never forgave her. And I even had therapy recently. I said, look, help me. She's dead. Look, I have to let it go. And she said, well, what happened? I said, well, she didn't let me go to school play. That's how important it was for me. And it's sat on my heart as a heavy burden because it shows the hormones, the everything in teenagehood is much sharper than any other time. So teenagers need help more.
They need support
than
for
anyone.
sure.
Yes, they need understanding. I think if my mother just said, look, I can't let you go because you have bigger fish to fry. I wanted to focus on the academic side, but she didn't. She just didn't let me. So anyway, I'm ready to forgive her.
Beautiful. Forgiveness is important. We need to learn. That's a tough lesson to learn, the forgiveness piece. And forgiveness isn't even for them. It's for us so that we can unburden ourselves and not carry that weight.
Yes. It would be good, Brad, if I did this years ago. When I was with my daughter, I was young, and at that time we didn't have internet as such. We didn't have so much available information. Now you go on YouTube, you can be graduated on YouTube, learning things. So only recently I had to deal with it, and I felt sad because I had to carry that, maybe even reflected on my parenting. So in my book, I actually dedicated whole chapter not to do that. Face your demons now, get therapy, get healing. Whatever it takes, so you have a fresh start on your parenting.
If you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
Right. I would ask, would you like to come back to my another show?
Okay. Would you like to come back to another show?
I would love that. I love your shows. I love your guests, Brad. I love your guests and how you handle them. So
thank you very much. I received that. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate that. Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you.
If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
Oh, it would be Michelle Obama. It would be about parenting. I watched You're laughing because it's all about parenting.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I should
okay.
really
That's your life.
widen my horizon.
No, that's what you do. So, of course, you want to speak about it. Absolutely.
Yeah. They are actually good parents, them too. Her husband as well. They are good. Because I raised my daughter and I did struggle. Because my daughter was very energetic. She had so much flair. She wanted so much more than I could offer her. And it used to drive me mad because I'm Asian. I'm supposed to be authoritarian. I am in charge. But I couldn't argue with her because she was so smart. She would put her case. She would say she's innocent because of this.
Maybe she's going to be a lawyer.
She's not lawyer. She's not lawyer, but I'm sure she knows all the Right. And she used to say, I decided I'm not going to school tomorrow and day after because the subjects are rubbish. I'd rather sleep. And she used to justify stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah. And how do you deal with that? I mean, she finished with 11 A stars, the school. She has brilliant mind.
Wow.
And she was so, and I struggled to discipline her. Not discipline her. I struggled to make her listen to me. I felt a power struggle since she was 5.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because she was so strong and because she had such a good language skills and because she had her dad on her back, he would always back her up. I felt I had to fight always. So my question to Michelle Obama would be, how did she actually maintain that? Because she had 2 girls and things can get tough between moms and daughters, do you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So that would be the person I would like to meet.
Okay. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Oh, that's very straightforward. Just start with a nanny job and enjoy your life. Don't go and do accounting.
Stay out of the accounting world.
So probably I would say listen to yourself. I'm sure lots of Asians feel like I do. You're not actually asked. I mean, I'm grateful I was sent to university. Because being from very humble background in a farm, I mean, my mother sold her cows to send me to capital city to university. Yeah, so I'm very grateful for that. And I've realized I was ungrateful teenage brat holding this grudge. She didn't let me go to school play. But I would advise all parents to listen. Do you know, children are smart. Don't treat them as children. I never speak to children as children. Do you know, I always speak as an adult. I always respect what they say. Children actually know. If you listen to them, they have very high intuition. They can actually tell you what they want to do. So if I went back, I would not spend so many years at university doing the wrong thing.
Lastly, Chinara, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your tribe, your people, your corner of the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
I would say, don't be stuck in one idea. Always evolve and listen to others too.
Love it. Beautiful. Chinara, thank you so much. This has been such a fun, inspirational, educational chat, conversation, experience. I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to sit down and share in your journey and your story with you and about the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do, your wisdom around parenting, your knowledge. Thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Brad, so much. And since I pressured you to invite me again on the show, next time I actually would like to talk about parenting, about children, and actually try and help parents and not talk about me as we did today, although it was fascinating, I'm sure.
It was very fun and a great conversation. Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Brad Welsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Chinara Crumpton. She is a nanny for the rich and famous in the UK, the founder and owner of blueparenting.com, and a best-selling author. Thank you so much, Chinara. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.